Every year Neymar is injured in February until March, the time when his younger sister Rafael was the birth organization, starting from the 2014-2015 season when the Barcelona mid-army arrived on his birthday in March 2015. Where he did not play with Barca because he was suspended exactly 1 year later. Neymar also thought he would play on the occasion of his birth Japanese sister for the same reason, but true Kotan according to the above plot formula is even more valid when in the summer of 16-2017 Neymar continued to be absent from the squad as far as possible on her sister's birthday this time. The highly skilled striker Brazilians think it's not as monotonous as before. He's absent with the excuse of having to be injured sometimes. It also coincides with March 2018 when Neymar was seriously injured and he had to fight at that dark birthday party. Although there is not enough real evidence, it is clear enough when we believe it because we all know Neymar is a person who loves parties and he also has a very close relationship with his younger sister Rafael. Momo, to launder money. Have you ever thought about why teams spend so much money to recruit an Alvaro Morata? Is a striker like a striker who has never scored 20 goals every season, so there are values of seeding that are so high. Morata once fell max Juventus with 20 million euros before Ramua back 30 million euros in 2017. Music, Euro with cashews. The purchase of land is not small according to statistics from Transfermarkt. Morata with a total transfer value of up to 189 million euros. A figure that is sky-high compared to a middle-class population with Momoland football teams that we have such high prices just to launder money. But the owners of clubs sometimes have music attempts to confiscate animals to keep peace for the Bundesliga every mocker starting. The question is, how many rounds will the Vienna win early? Indeed, with players of superior class compared to the common level, and you want to play against the team that destroys my opponent. So there was no time when the next day I failed with an unbelievable score. However, the Madrange Cotton was typical of a 0-loss 5 duty is past. The German old people are collected. No 2/3 of this season or more is failure. 1-4 cases must be in 2020 or a year ago. Then these failures usually come after a series of destruction form that flies up. It creates, of course. Losing the match is indispensable for football in Biden. It's no exception. But it's okay to leave losing too much even though they will not be much more powerful than the opponent. The theory is that people doubt whether Bayern will intentionally lose heavily to keep in harmony with the brothers at the Bundes, who often have a policy of sucking the blood of other competitors' talents in the country, and as the source believes, other teams also create conditions to do this and have been sucked blood regularly. It can take a long time to have to release a match to maintain the relationship with other opponents. UEFA Barcelona's conflict at James or 8209, a theory that may be the most obvious but still unproven, is that UEFA is behind it to help Bows. But the memory of the second leg semi-final against Chelsea may always make this team doubt UEFA team up with Barcelona to avoid that jelly likes to meet in 2 consecutive finals from the referees' incomprehensible to unfair decisions. Tomisão admitted mistakes in the whistle-blowing stage, but that only made Chelsea's fans more inhibited and Barca benefited to a final. Then they beat the middle of the box to win the championship with the same word, that ironic face. UEFA Luna was born referring to UEFA and Barcelona. But sometimes there are things that when turned over will make us believe that it's solid, even though there's never evidence that UEFA intentionally coaxed the final between Barcelona and scolded by default. Have you ever tried to ask why the 3 stars that Real Madrid rarely face each other from the round quarterfinals James onwards? Automatic needle 2011, where Barcelona defeated Real Madrid and then won the championship, always at the second Walkley. The team did not meet again. Perhaps UEFA always dreamed of having a super classic final. Barcelona and Real Madrid are both the giant clubs. They have the most powerful fans in the world and strength. Their strength has also always been stable around many seasons or the imaginary Champions League final. UEFA's dream final also understands this, and perhaps they have partly influenced the draw results to create conditions for the 2 big players Spain can meet and live forever in the end. But in the end, people won't be as dangerous as things after 2011 in 2 degrees. Barcelona and Real Madrid also won the Champions League, but they have never met each other in the final decisive match. Maybe UEFA, so we will further realize our ambitions with a dream final. Music, reward accept those who lost to Korea at the 2006 World Cup. Spain won the 2010 World Cup 2002. One can immediately remember the Koreans staying a small team from Chao and can now reach the semi-finals. In this miraculous victory, Korea eliminated Portugal in the group stage to reach the Italian Macau stage with a set of defenders, and the runners-up from Euro 2 the previous year also had to accept a bitter defeat to the quarter-finals of the crowded team. The house and Japan continued to defeat Spain to reach the semi-finals, but before the goal was too strong and superior. Korea could not surprise them anymore. Many sources said that an official of Linda Korea went tonight with the arbitration organization to bring beneficial results to the homeowner. The incident later came to light with many people. 300 koi at the 2002 World Cup is a charge as well as a perpetual flag penalty. However, there is a FIFA page also behind it to help the home team in Korea. We all know that after being bitterly eliminated, Italy and Spain were both crowned in the following World Cups. Is that as a reward for the items that cooperated to collect Korea in World Cup 98 to win 2002. If the previous year's World Cup 4 was mentioned, there are many theories as to why. Browser, the final match, clearly France that year also had a very strong and worthy team of champions, but Ronaldo's epilepsy incident before the match. Many doubted whether there was any force behind it to help the County Lower Roosters actually winning the tournament at home. Ronaldo in the final match played pretending to be like a ghost and did not cause many difficulties, in stark contrast to Ronaldo's image exploding in previous matches. And then Dion and his teammates scored 3 goals and turned into Browser, becoming the former king of many theories that FIFA had colluded with Brazil itself. An agreement that can be understood is that let France win this year, 4 years later you will have the Gold Cup. And indeed, listen to Coup World Cup Red Book in 2002. Soluxi convince in Asia, but the story behind that curtain is probably only the insiders know. That UEFA is every way to make Perry's. In the past, fans often sarcastically said that UEFA Luna, but currently, there is another team that has become more clearly close to UEFA, which has been one of Europe's leading major players since the Nats president rose to become one of Europe's leading major players thanks to the bottomless territory of the Akara African era. Gradually develop relationships to have a solid seat on the board without UEFA, not even the president of Peru having affirmed that he was on the sidelines in the popular Super League project last year to maintain a strong relationship with the Ferry story. We all knew that Karafi's ambition was still in trouble, so he slinged, perhaps because the boss of Qatar was doing everything to realize it. Realizing the ambition of Prin is one of the teams eliminated with the rules and winning the most with 2 failures, and since then, UEFA has been forced to give up the away goal this season, which can help even though they are the financial owners. It seems they ignore Paris, including the French streams of Tung Hoan in the market, thus God painted the work. The Prince welcomed a series of superstars to conquer the Fawcett Cup, but recently they once again failed in a lower-rated Redmi. UEFA needs to have more adjustments or rules for this flexibility so that PC can win the championship. You have to adjust until you win the Champions League for the first time. But these are theories that may make many fans stay at the ancient monastery, even though it's difficult to prove its authenticity. The football world is very colorful, and it is not, except that it also has bright colors and hidden corners. Of course those are still just hypotheses set for us to argue about right and wrong. Maybe I will forever lie in the ocean behind the mysterious curtains. According to you, there will still be people. What theory makes you always believe even though there is no evidence to prove it? Now hello and see you again.